When Sarah first told me about it, I thought she was joking. We were sitting at the kitchen table, her coffee untouched, her hands folded neatly in front of her like she was delivering a business proposal, not a marriage-altering announcement. "Michael," she said, "Ethan's going through a hard time. His mother passed away. He's broken. He needs someone who knows him." Ethan. Her ex-boyfriend. The man I thought had been left behind in our rearview mirror years ago. I felt my fork pause halfway to my mouth. "And?" I asked, because apparently I'd forgotten how to form complete sentences. "I offered to stay with him," she said, her voice calm, almost rehearsed. "Just for 2 weeks. 15 days. I want to help him heal." It took me a moment to register what I was hearing. She wasn't suggesting she'd visit him. She wasn't talking about a few afternoon check-ins. She was saying she'd live with him. Sleep under the same roof. Share mornings and nights like they used to, except now, she'd be my wife doing it. "You can't be serious," I said, my voice a low growl I barely recognized. "You're asking your husband to be okay with you moving in with your ex?" Sarah tilted her head, a small sigh escaping her lips. "It's not about you or me, Michael. It's about doing the right thing. Ethan doesn't have anyone else." I stared at her, waiting for the punchline that never came. And then, like a knife twisting, she added, "I already talked to Lily about it. She understands." Lily. Our 17-year-old daughter. The girl I'd spent years protecting from the messy complications of adult relationships. The girl who should have been as shocked as I was. "She said I should go," Sarah continued, looking almost proud. "She thinks I'm being compassionate." I couldn't wrap my head around it. My own daughter siding with her mother on something this absurd, this wrong. I asked Sarah if she'd considered how this would make me look. To my friends, my family, our neighbors. "Michael," she said, with a quiet pity in her eyes, "sometimes we have to set aside appearances for humanity." For the rest of the day, her words rattled in my skull. I tried to work, tried to distract myself. But every time my phone buzzed, I half expected a text from her saying she'd changed her mind. It never came. That night, Lily knocked on my study door. She slipped inside, her expression soft but certain. "Dad," she said, "Mom's just trying to help. You're overreacting." Overreacting. My own daughter telling me I was the one in the wrong, for not wanting my wife to share a bed, a home, and maybe more with the man she used to love. The next morning, I woke to the sound of her suitcase wheels bumping against the hallway floor. It was surreal, like watching someone pack for a vacation they'd been dreaming about, except this trip wasn't to a beach or some scenic mountainside. It was to him. I leaned against the doorway, arms crossed. "So that's it? No discussion, no compromise, just goodbye?" Sarah zipped up her bag, her movements deliberate, almost graceful. "I told you, Michael. This isn't about us. It's about helping someone in need. I thought you'd understand." Understand? The woman I'd built my life with was walking out the door to play nursemaid to her ex-boyfriend. And she wanted me to understand. When she carried her bag to the car, Lily trailed behind, hugging her mother tightly before she got in. I stood on the porch, the cold morning air biting my skin, feeling like an unwelcome extra in my own life. Sarah gave me a brief nod, then drove off without another word. The first few days were the worst. I'd walk past the empty side of the bed at night, my mind replaying every possible scenario in that house where she was staying. Every smile they might share. Every memory they might relive. I tried to push it out of my head, but doubt has a way of creeping in when you're alone. Lily, on the other hand, seemed unaffected, almost cheerful. "Mom says Ethan's been eating better," she told me over dinner one evening. "She's really helping him." I clenched my jaw. She's helping him while hurting us. Does that sound right to you? She rolled her eyes like I was some stubborn old man who didn't understand the modern world. Dad, you're being selfish. Not everything is about you. That one stung. The child I'd raised, the one who used to run to me for comfort when she scraped her knee, was now standing across from me defending her mother's decision to abandon our home, our family, for another man. By day 6, Sarah's texts had grown short and impersonal. Busy. Talk later. Or Ethan had a rough night. Need to be here for him. No, I love you. No questions about how I was doing. Just updates about him. I caught myself staring at the framed wedding photo on our living room wall. We looked so young, so sure. Back then, I would have sworn nothing could break us. Now, I wasn't sure we'd survive the week. On the 8th day, I found a small envelope slipped under my door. Inside was a note from Lily, written in her neat, rounded handwriting. Dad, please stop making this harder. Mom is doing the right thing. You need to support her, not fight her. I read it twice, the words blurring. My daughter wasn't just taking her mother's side. She was asking me to betray my own instincts, my own dignity, for the sake of someone who wasn't even family. On the 15th day, Sarah came home just after sunset. Her car pulled into the driveway like nothing had happened, like she hadn't just spent over 2 weeks in another man's house. She walked in carrying the same suitcase she'd left with, a faint scent of cologne clinging to her clothes. And it wasn't mine. Hey, she said casually, as if she'd just returned from the grocery store. How's everything been? I didn't answer right away. I watched her set her bag down, glance around the living room, and smile faintly at Lily, who was curled up on the couch. They exchanged a look, warm, knowing, like co-conspirators. Finally, I asked, did he heal? She blinked, caught off guard. What? Ethan, I said slowly. The man you left me for. Is he all better now? Her lips parted in irritation. I didn't leave you. I was helping a friend. I laughed, short and bitter. A friend you used to share a bed with. A friend you told our daughter was more important than her father's peace of mind. Lily sat up, her voice sharp. Dad, you're overreacting. Mom did the right thing. That was the breaking point. I turned to her and said, the right thing for who, Lily? For her? For him? Because it sure wasn't for me. And if you think that love means walking away whenever someone from your past snaps their fingers, then you've got a lot to learn about loyalty. Sarah crossed her arms, her expression cooling. So what, Michael? You want me to apologize for caring about someone who needed me? I took a step closer. No. I want you to admit that you made a choice. And that choice wasn't your marriage. It wasn't me. Silence filled the room. Lily looked between us, her earlier defiance fading into something else. Confusion, maybe even doubt. Sarah's jaw tightened, but she didn't say a word. That night, I took the wedding photo off the wall. I didn't smash it, didn't burn it. I simply placed it face down on the table. It was a quiet acknowledgement that something had shifted, something we might never get back. Weeks later, Sarah still hadn't offered an apology. She moved through the house as if nothing had happened, but the air between us was colder. Lily avoided deep conversations with me, perhaps afraid of what she might hear. I realized then that healing doesn't always mean coming back together. Sometimes it means accepting the damage and walking forward alone.